Chibi-Robo is one of the more confusing series Nintendo's come up with. They made a handful of games, they garnered quite a decent-sized fanbase, and it's like they never cared. Chibi-Robo Plug into Adventure is one of those games that you know about because you never played it, but you swear one of these days you'll get around to it. Now, I think the series is mostly known for giving us Ziplash, and boy, that's a sin that shouldn't go unpunished. But before that game apparently ruined the chances of Chibi-Robo ever being a thing again, this was actually a multi-game franchise across multiple consoles, and the character was easily the most popular thing the developers at Skip Limited ever came up with. Not really much competition when the rest of their library consists of a ton of art style games, some Japanese-only titles, Captain Rainbow will one day rise again, and of course publishing LOL on the DS in Japan, but come on, everybody knows that. Sheer curiosity has brought me to this point. As a massive Nintendo fanboy, I had to see what all the fuss was about. But the question here isn't whether or not this game is good, but why a game like Ziplash or why the lack of major notoriety like being an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Has driven the self-proclaimed hardcore Chibi-Robo fanbase crazy. This is my first time ever checking this game out actually, I'm really excited. Let's see what I've been missing out on. I have no idea what I just played. In Chibi-Robo, you play as, well, Chibi-Robo, a toy robot that Mr. Sanderson gave his daughter Jenny for her 8th birthday. The family is currently dealing with a bunch of problems. The father is out of a job, the mother is mad at him for constantly spending money on toys despite not having a job, and Jenny thinks she's a frog. Something I think we can all relate to? I want to spend my money on toys! Yo, same. The goal of the Chibi-Robo toy line is actually to bring happiness to those around it, so hey, in dire times, anything is worth a shot. And joining you on your journey is a flying television, Telly-Vision, who yells oh a lot and constantly asks us to not mind him. Spread the happiness. We're witnessing a divorce in progress, Telly, show some restraint. But then, the night comes, and like Toy Story, when the humans are away and asleep, the toys run rampant, and throughout the game, we end up working to make all of them happy as well. The dog toy, Sophie, is struggling to express her love to space hunter Drake Redcrest. The Free Rangers army is enlisting soldiers for a battle against the family dog Tao, after it kidnapped one of the soldiers and injured the sergeant's eye. Captain Plankbeard wants to sail on the waters once again, and he asks you to help make his dreams possible. The house is filled with all these wacky and out there characters, and the thing is, most of them are optional. Whether or not you eventually meet any of these toys is a matter of being in the right place at the right time by going off the beaten path. It wasn't until I saved this creepy looking flower after being requested to do so by this Lego dinosaur and then it started dancing that I realized, what? Honestly, even when I started actually playing the game, I had no idea what I was doing. You're running around a large room, most of which is inaccessible to you. This battery number is slowly going down. You soon pick up a toothbrush, which you can use to clean up dirty spots for some reason. I'm kinda just doing things aimlessly. Well, since that number is in fact your battery level, you gotta remember to plug in every so often for a charge, otherwise you die. You run faster when you're holding your plug, so I definitely recommend doing that when you can. Doing so also allows you to go inside these special chibi doors. Ooh, I wonder what's inside. Okay, scary eyes, don't hurt me. I'm just gonna take this money and go now. Thanks, bye. The first hour or so of the game was simply me not knowing what I was doing, coming up with way more questions than I was receiving answers. I introduced myself to Drake Redcrest, and now I can dress up as him. Why? I can pick up trash and throw it in my head. Why? I ran into the foyer and got shot to death by a bunch of army eggs. Why? Ah. He sit. Going into this totally blind, it took me quite a while to realize that, oh, this is actually just like an old school adventure game. By running around and talking to different characters, it's all a matter of getting and using items in specific contexts in order to succeed in making them happy and gaining more happy points as well as money, which is required to upgrade your stamina and utilities to explore even more of the house and meet more of the toys. The main objective is to make the Sanderson family happy, while subsequently discovering some of the house's secrets to do so. Some of the side characters you run into as part of the story, some you don't. And and whether or not you go out of your way to help them is entirely up to you. The family is the only primary focus. But alongside that, on your first trip to the basement, you discover a deactivated Chibi-Robo, a helper robot that used to have a strong relationship with all of the other toys. So your other main goal is to revitalize this big boy. Oh, and also there are aliens. Of course there are. Sometimes when you go to get your plug back from a charge, a pan falls out of the sky and knocks you out for a second. You continue playing after that. This doesn't hurt you in any way, it's just something that may or may not happen. Cool? Everything said thus far is just saying what you do, but believe it or not, there is a game behind all of this, and explaining how to do those things, that's a whole lot easier to do. The Sandersons' two-story house is free to explore. This is an open world here, provided you have the tools to do so. The size may not seem all that impressive on the surface, but there are so many nooks and crannies and demon doors everywhere that really makes this feel like a fully lived-in world. Everybody found within is so damn wacky, and Chibi's dead stare makes everything you do super charming. Whenever a question is asked of you, a simple pop-up happens whether you want to say yes or no, even if the question doesn't deserve a yes or no answer. I don't know why that's funny, maybe I'm just easy to please. The battery mechanic can be a bit annoying to get used to, but you upgrade that pretty quickly, so it's nothing a little bit of time management can't solve. On that same note, there is also a daily time limit, Pikmin style. And this, truthfully, I'm less fond of. You actually end up having a choice as to whether a day or night cycle goes for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Well, it turns out that some quests only progress at a certain time of day. The next chapter takes place at night, it only now just turned day, so you're stuck with 15 minutes to wander and figure out what to do, then you do the thing that you need to when night comes, only to find out that the following step happens during the day. So hey, back to waiting. I get it though, by giving you this much free time, you are really encouraged to run around and explore. Chances are, you'll find something new. But if you're laser focused on a specific goal like, well, a person, then expect to just sit there for a good amount of time, just waiting. Did I mention there's aliens? This doesn't ruin the game by any stretch, but it can definitely feel like a massive roadblock at times. Sometimes you'll be in the middle of doing something important, but the moon says it's time to go home, and you're a good little robot, so you have to follow the rules. To be fair though, I think I would care more if the other characters that you interact with didn't exist, because oh man, not only are they great on a personality level, this is where you find a bulk of the gameplay variety as well. Plenty of training missions with the Free Rangers, playing a game of chicken in a toy car, shooting targets in a plane, platforming. There's a lot you can do here. Sometimes the camera and controls can be a bit finicky, but it's more than manageable in my opinion. There's also like this evil horde of robotic spiders called spy doors. Oh man, that practically come out of nowhere, start infiltrating the house, and then when you're running around, they'll just pop up, ready for battle. And thanks to a blaster that you can purchase, you can go into battle against them. Suddenly, this is a run and gun game. Okay. Oh hey, look at that, a side scroller. Maybe Ziplash isn't so unfaithful after all. And now everybody's mad at me. But even with those occasional roadblocks, this is still a generally slow-paced game. Soak in the world, everybody. You have no other options. For my money, I'm totally cool with that. The text, on the other hand, can sometimes go at a snail's pace, and that's annoying. I got no bright side to that one. Oh, and also fall damage? Oh, good. But yeah, overall, game's great. I get it now. I see what people have been talking about all this time. On a gameplay front, it's definitely slightly confusing trying to get into, and I would be lying if I said I didn't have to consult a guide to figure out just what the hell to do to continue sometimes. But the expansive world, charming characters, varied gameplay scenarios, it makes for something really unique and special. Every time you think you know what's gonna happen, why did that happen? I have no idea, and I'm totally okay with that. The GameCube is home to some of Nintendo's most unique ideas, and I can easily say that Chibi-Robo is the brightest example of a new IP on that console. When you really take a look back at that generation, Nintendo was quite the risk taker. They gave this random developer a shot on their console, and we got a really good game out of it. And did it pay off well for them? Of course not, you already know the answer to that. A sequel that was exclusive to Walmart, another that never left Japan, a random eShop tech demo more or less, and everybody's favorite, Ziplash. This poor little robot never stood a chance. Even when GameCube games were getting ported over to the Wii courtesy of the new Play Control line, Chibi-Robo was mysteriously the only one that didn't get localized, which is so upsetting. Just one look at a trailer shows this would have been great. Widescreen support, basic motion controls, would have been really fun. If any series deserves a proper second chance, it's this one. Hey, even if we get an HD remaster of the original game, I would be totally okay with that. Streamline the time of day system, let me skip through the text, and make it easier to keep track of all the available side quests. Just implement a bunch of quality of life improvements, and then actually give it a spotlight instead of just releasing it out of nowhere, and I don't know, man. I think it would work. It's just a shame that Nintendo probably doesn't feel the same way. But if all we can do from now on is take a look back at this series in retrospect, at least I can rest easy knowing that no other franchise got it as bad as Chibi-Robo did. Okay, so Nintendo clearly just has a bad track record with this.